Dhyanamoolam Gurumurti Pujamoolam Gururpadam Mantamoolam Gururvakyam Mokshamoolam Gurur Kripa. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Hari Om. Aditya Hrudayam. We are proceeding further. It is such a powerful stotra that more and more we contemplate on it, more and more will derive from it. As a matter of fact, every word that Guru was using is so powerful that every adjective or the qualifying word that Sri Rishi is using is a source of meditation in itself. So to say, the sutra itself can be felt powerful provided you get so fully absorbed into this beauty of the scripture. Unless and until you realize the value of the word that you are using or the sutra that you are chanting, we cannot invoke the same spirit. The word Surya itself, we just call it a source of power. Power what? We still think that the power means that, like electric car, that once having charged the battery, it will take you somewhere. But these are all the physical power for our day-to-day life, for our objective need to be satisfied. We never think of what is the subjective exploration. And in order to understand, you have noticed that we have been chanting Om Suryo Jyoti Jyoti Suryo Swaha 5 times. And on the surface, it may look like that why are we chanting the same thing? Why don't we learn something new? Really speaking, there is nothing new to be learned. And the moment we want to learn something new, that shows our mind is looking for Surya as an object and whose multiple existence or multiplicity of the source of power that we are looking for, with which we may get some material benefit. But one of the biggest benefits one can think of is exploratory involution, how we evolve inward so that there is no need for anything further to be need or to be had, need to be experienced. And as Mundaka Upanishad says, having known which, nothing needs to be known. He's just talking about to be known. Forget about to being a head. So it's so powerful. So talking about it, I will mention a few words about what is Surya. And before that, let us chant that mantra from Rigveda. Those of you do not remember, doesn't matter. We'll see it in a minute. But eventually, I want you to remember this. Here is the mantra. And let us chant together. The other one was also, it was Jyoti Surya Surya Jyoti Swaha. Here is the Surya, Jyoti Jyoti Surya Swaha. So even though you all are muted, but let us see if we can chant together.
Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha.
Sorry, give me a second.
Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha.
Kindly read the yellow line.
Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha.
Okay, now here is the correct mantra. So let us chant just once more.
Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha.
Now, understanding a little beauty of the Surya as to why do we say it is the source of power. What is that power? Now is the time also to recognize and study. Now understand that this is the revolution and rotation on the axis of the earth. It is rotation, but when it rotates around the sun, it is revolution. Even though we understand that on the earth no seasons would have been possible if the axis of rotation is not at 22.5 degrees. I mean, in other words, if this axis, what you see, my pen or the cursor, had it been vertical, there would not have been 3 or 4 seasons. Or per Hindu scripture, there's 6 seasons. Okay? Those seasons would not have been possible. But even if the axis is there, but if the sun would not have been radiating, and that too at just the proper temperature, we would not have had any life or any manifestation on this earth possible. So you may think, what is it? Why am I saying so? If the season isn't there, just think for a moment. If the season isn't there, even though there might have been water, but the water cannot be evaporated. Cloud could not have been formed, rain could not have happened, and all the plantation would not have been possible. How much you and I, we can generate the plantation, or we can grow the plantation with sprinkler system. Understanding those details, and once the plantation isn't there, where would you get the oxygen from? How much oxygen would you generate? And as we were talking about day before yesterday, that a gentleman was charged $5,000 for ventilation for a day. 5,000 lira, doesn't matter any amount. And when he had to pay this just for a day, he was in tears, thinking that, oh my God, I am 76 years old, 76 times 365 days of my ventilation that has been free. How much do I owe to the Supreme? And that Supreme is what our scripture call it, sun. Mind you, just don't take sun to be the one in the solar galaxy, but the intelligence and the amount of energy that it has, that is Surya. And that is in this sutra referred as Aditya. And Hrudayam is that source of Surya which is thinking of generating enormous amount of inexhaustible amount of energy and intelligence both together, just not energy and just not intelligence. And scientists say that it has been billions of years, but to us, we could barely conceive 100 years of span. Forget about billions. that much amount of inexhaustible amount. And that is what the great Rishi is calling Aditya Hrudayam, with which he just expresses his joy, his requesting the invocation, and that is what, with the divine grace, we get an opportunity to study this, to just barely cursory touch on it. And this word we will be studying. Now at this stage, when the last time I was reading it, just the one word that struck me so much, and that also will study into the detail, and that word is Prajapati. Surya or Aditya is also called Prajapati. Now, Praja means we think that, oh, my grandfather and my brother, sister, my children. This is Swamiji's Praja. No, here, anything and everything which is manifested to give us the glimpse or the darshana of consciousness. Unless that is manifested, we would not even know, even though that's what we are. Even though we are consciousness, but had we not been manifested, or the other manifestation around us would not have been existing, and that includes all the galaxies, all the stars, all the plants, all the insects, all the cytes and parasites and bacteria and fish and water and mountain and plantation. You think of everything manifested and which is in the garbha. Garbha means in the bosom of it, in the form of a seed and tree and seed and tree. This is called the garbha. This is called the womb of it. And this, praja, understand now the word. And the pati, most of the people with Indian origin, they know what praja means. Okay, or sorry, the pati means. We all only have the concept, very minimal concept. Pati means husband. Pati is the one that nourishes, that takes the responsibility, that brings it partially into existence. That is Pati. And so when we'll hear in one of the sloka, Rishi Agastya addressing Surya as Prajapati. Just the one word, all right? At that time, perhaps different thought may come to me and we'll talk about it. But the point to be learned, point to be understood is how powerful is just the word Surya. And Aditya will also see how this Rishi or the great, one of the Swamis, I don't know who, has translated and has tried to explain. I am just transporting some of the meaning, that's all. But to experience this, just to contemplate on it, and for that, your friend has been talking to all of us, dharana, 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 and dharana. Just take one word and contemplate on it. That's all is needed. There is nothing from jumping from time, place to place. And how fortunate we are that we even get at our doorstep Rigved mantra, huh? Jyoti Surya, Surya Jyoti Swaha. And we'll get a chance to elaborate and enjoy the meaning of it. It will be just phenomenal. Let me move on to the next slide. Uh, my computer doesn't want to move from this. All right. Okay, it did move finally. The fourth sloka, Aditya, let me not say it, let us hear from the great sadhaka.
Aditya Hrudayam punyam sarvashatru vinashanam jayavaham japam nityam akshayam paramam shivam.
Let us hear it just once more.
Aditya Hrudayam punyam sarvashatru.
Thank you for warning me. Okay, let me, very good thought. Meaning you guys are seeing different slide than what I am presenting. So I will have to go back.
Vinashanam jayavaham japam nityam akshayam paramam shivam.
Would you kindly raise your hand if you see this sloka number 4? Some of you, okay, good. Thank you.
Aditya Hrudayam punyam sarvashatru vinashanam jayavaham japam nityam akshayam paramam shivam.
Oh my God. Aksayam Paramam Shivam. Oh my God. How much Agastya Rishi is telling us. Aditya Hridayam, this sutra, or if you do not take it this as a, okay, let's first read what the translation says. This is the holy hymn, Aditya Hridayam, which destroys all enemies and brings you victory and permanent happiness by chanting it always. Now, we all Baniya people would like to have it. With a minimum effort, if we can get a nice couple of cars and couple of buildings and having billions of dollars, so we'll think, let us chant. Just by chanting, if we can get it, why not? Okay? That's not Agastya Rishi is talking about. Let's take just one thing at a time. Aditya Hridayam. And it may not be the Sanskrit Sandhi, but as it is coming to me, as I could understand. Aditya Hrudayam, our Hriday, our heart, and I'm not talking about the heart that pumps. It is so soul of existence. And so Aditya Hriday, the Hriday of Aditya, even the source within the Aditya, that qualifies him to be Aditya, qualifies him to be the son of Aditi, the mother of energy. And a little bit of mother of energy we talked about. Punyam, it is so pavitra, it is so holy. And that even glimpse of it, just even thinking of it, just even contemplating of it, just having dharana on, just the word Aditya, just the word Aditya, Hridayam, that is so punya. And again, please don't think those words like papa and punya. I'm not talking about that punya so that we can go to heaven. All right, no, not that. It is that with which, having which, nothing needs to be known. Nothing needs to be had. Again, I'm sorry, there's one more message. Uh, okay, I think all of you are seeing Sutra at number 4. Am I correct? All right, good. Thank you. And again, okay, somebody's typing yes. All right. Okay. Yo. So Aditya Hridayam, what is that Aditya Hridayam? It is so punya, it is so potent, it's so powerful. What it is, Sarva Satru Vinasanam. Sarva, all, Satru, enemy. What is that enemy? Would you call this coronavirus to be enemy? Would you call the stock market as the enemy? No, that's not the one he's talking about. So the Satrus, the biggest Satru one can have is avidya. And other day, maybe this morning, I was looking at one equation called avidya, action, karma. Avidya leads to action and action leads to karma. And that leads to birth and death and death and birth. That's it. And this equation has been given to Adi Shankaracharya. Avidya, action, karma. So just to get rid of the avidya, and getting rid of avidya is not that something you pick up and throw it away. Avidya is that darkness or the ignorance of your own inherent nature. When that is removed, that how would you remove it? When we'll have the sakshatkar of our own swabhava, not cultivated swabhava that we talk about, but here swabhava. And that realization, that awareness first, and then realization, and then constantly being aware of. That is the Satru Narshanam. That will remove the Satru. Meaning, when you come to the realization that you are the consciousness, you are the Param Shivam. He's talking about Param Shivam underneath. So when you realize that Soham Asmi, I am that, mind you, it's not to be understood, not to be learned, but the day when we realize it, that's the time we can say that I have had pleasure to enjoy Aditya Hrudayam. The punya, that potency, that powerful, that infinitism, that is Sarva Satru Vinashana. I may think that perhaps, some Chinese guy whosoever had the coronavirus, he is my enemy. No, no, no. That's not Agastya Rishi is talking about. The biggest Satru is avidya, that brings you to the state of action, meaning what does, understand, avidya brings to action. What is that equation? Why does it bring action? Because moment we are not aware of, we are not experienced of that, we are consciousness, we will treat ourselves as an insufficient entity. We are lacking something. We'll treat ourselves apurna, not purnam, apurna. So when we are apurna, we feel like having purna. We think that I am not a billionaire, so we'll try my best to become a billionaire. Nowadays, I can't talk about the millionaire because that world is too small. Or we may feel that, hope this coronavirus goes away. That is my apurna. As soon as the virus goes off, I will be free. At that time, for a moment only, we'll feel, now I am purna because coronavirus restriction is gone. But it has nothing to do, my dear friend. That virus can affect your body, but it will not affect the core of it. So as a result, we'll start working on one after another dream. This is such a blessing we have, so that we have to do nothing, and in doing nothing, we are doing everything, approaching Aditya Hrudayam. Approaching at least. So we were talking about the word Sarva Satru Vinashanam. Jaya Vaham Jape Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam. Jaya Avaham. Jaya, victory. What does it say? All enemy, and brings you victory and permanent happiness. Jape Nityam. All the time when somebody is chanting Aditya Hrudayam. Now, it's not that we, being businessmen, we are so smart. As soon as we hear learning that we should do Japa Nityam. Nowadays, all the gizmos are available. Little box, you put it in your house, plug it in, and it will continuously repeat Aditya Hrudayam. Like I have seen so many places, Gayatri Mantra being chanted, Omkar being chanted, Aarti being done electronically, okay? Even any of the pujas being done electronically. And the smart people, how we fool ourselves. And we think that we are doing punya. That's not the punya Agastya Rishi is talking about. So, and the reason indirectly I'm mentioning this all is for us to know, dear friend, Aditya Hrudayam and our Hriday should proclaim that Aditya, oh Aditya, oh Aditya. That's it, nothing but Aditya. And there are so many other names which will be following. Jape Nityam, Nityam continuously, uninterruptedly. And there's nothing but that. And what could be a better time than this, my dear friend? And that's the reason we were just chanting only 5 times Jyoti, Surya, Surya, Jyoti, Swaha. How fortunate we are that even we had accessible this Rigveda mantra, which has been inspired or envisioned by those great rishis more than 5,000 years ago. How fortunate we are. What a grace it is of those great people that we get this chance to see it. Jape Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam. And that is Paramam. Okay. Now, this is the beauty of Sanskrit. Okay. And that is when is used, that is the superlative degree. When we say Sundara, Sundaratara, and Sundaratama means the most beautiful. Paramam Shivam. And Shivam, the, how would I say, the word holy is a very, very cheap translation. Shivam, the ocean of consciousness, nothing but that, Shiva. And to my Indian friends, I will say, let us go beyond the personified form of Shiva. That is the one with big hairs on the head and serpent and river Ganga flowing from it. These are conceptual. Let us not just bring that image in front of us. Just think of Shivam, Purnam, Sunyam, all those great words. So it is that chanting Nityam, we feel victory. And what is that Jaya? What is that victory? Victory over what? The one of the biggest Satru, Sarva Satru Vinashanam. The biggest Satru is avidya. And that, because that leads to the action, that leads you to the feeling of insufficiency, apuna. Because that's why you want this and you want that. You want to go to the best school, you want to get good scale, good score, then get a good job, make more money, get married, have children, and blah, blah, blah. And then the chapter closes. And you think that is the end of the life karma. Avidya, action, karma. And this is what Adi Shankaracharya has said. But once you understand, and that avidya is the biggest satru. Of course, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, matsar, that shat ripu that we had a privilege in studying Shivoham or Atma Shatakam, those of you know that Shat Ripu, that Sat Ripu is also a Satru, but that comes, it is the subderivation of avidya. Let us just once more enjoy the chanting, and then we'll go to Sutra number 5.
Aditya Hrudayam Punyam Sarvashastru Vinashanam Jayamaham Japam Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
I feel like chanting Paramam Shivam, Paramam Shivam, Paramam Shivam. You keep on chanting until your voice choke and you get fully buried in crying over and enjoying the meaning. Paramam Shiva. Now, do you guys see the Sutra Sloka number 5? Yes or no? Okay, very good. Thank you. Let us just chant.
Sarva Mangal Mangalyam Sarva Papa Pranashanam Chinta Shoka Prashamanam Ayurvardhanam Uttamam.
See again, now he's using the superlative. Uttamam. Okay, the last word. This Sarva Mangala Mangalyam, almost all of you must have been chanting this unknowingly, I would say unknowingly. Whenever we do any arti, toward the end of the arti we say Sarva Mangala Mangalyam Shive Sarvartha Sadhikam Saranyam Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute, and then we chant 3 times Narayani Namostute, Narayani Namostute. Why? Because that Brahmin Chandrasekhar Bhatt has been chanting, so we chant. We don't know what it means. And here Agastya is also talking about Sarva Mangala Mangalyam, Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Mangala, auspicious, holy, pure. Sarva Mangala Mangalye, Mangale Parvati. O Devi, it is you who is creating Sarva Mangala Mangalye, or it is that Devi, or the goddess, or the reality in the feminine form. Let me say it this way, otherwise those who not believe in Parvati and believe in Amba Mata, they say, no. I cannot have Mangala with Parvati. I have to have Amba. And person like Arun may say, I need Gayatri only. Okay? So anyway, these are all the different names. Sarva Mangala Mangalye. Shiva. Shiva is also the name of the Shiva, male form of the consciousness of the Supreme Ocean. Shiva, Parvati again. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shiva Sarva Artha Sadhike. Shiva Sarva Artha Sadhike. Understood? That is easy to follow. Sarva Artha. Now here, Earth, of course, somebody, my friend, I just pick on him, Sanat. He says, Artha meaning green dollar. If I get all the dollars, I'll be happy. He just makes us all laugh anyway. So Sarva Artha Sadhike, all the Artha Sadhana, it gets it. Sarva Artha Sadhike. Saranye Trambake Gauri. Trambake is also Parvati. Trambaka is Shiva. Saranye Trambake Gauri. Gauri, another name. Whose shelter, whose shelter we seek. Sarane Tambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Narayani also, Lakshmi, Narayan, Vishnu, Narayani, and Narayani also means Parvati. So that, oh goddess, I bow down to. That's why we say Namostute, Namostute. And let us ask ourselves, how many of you really meant to say those words? Because it's Chandrasekhar's fault. He keeps on chanting, so we chant. Sarva Mangala, oops, I'm sorry. Let me just take the first line and then we stop. I am sorry to say, but I have to observe the time limit. It's already 4:45. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive, I'm sorry. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Sarva Papa Pranashana, destroyer of all the papas. What is that papa? Again, don't think that we had couple sneeze and cold, and so that is papa and something is punya. No, none of those. Papa is that event with which we could not see our own ignorance. That's the biggest papa. So all papa pranashanam, they get destroyed, they get given away, okay? All sin. And if you read the translation, let's read. This supreme prayer of sun god always gives happiness, destroys all sins, worries, and increase the longevity of life. And I think if this is understood, we can move to sloka number 6. No, I'm not going to move on to will. You folks allow me to be absorbed into this. Such a beautiful sloka. We'll continue next Sunday, but till then, let us chant once more Jyoti Surya. Okay, let me take you back. Could you see Om Jyoti? Yes? No? Okay, good. I'm glad I'm finding out what the problem is. Okay. Now could you see Om Jyoti Surya? Thank you. Let us just chant, and this is how we end. Oh. Could you see again? Very good.
स्वाहा ज्योतिः सूर्यः सूर्यो ज्योतिः स्वाहा
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.